It's raw, it's live, and uncut, it's uncut. Yeah, this is Raw Dawggin with your host DJ Cornett and Tim Turner. Let's go. It's raw, it's live, and yeah, it's uncut. Yeah. From XL to teacups, studs, bitches, pups. Healthcare tips to help the breed grow. Yeah. Stack all belts to help your team grow. Let's get it. Promo available, we got it for the cheap. Tap in. And every Thursday night, yeah, we on your TV. With your host DJ, yeah. You're gonna get the facts. Tim Turner like Ric Flair, about to snap, yeah. Built up designs, nobody do it better. Go Ralph on the corner, getting at him on our channel. Yeah, you don't wanna miss it. We Thursday night live, yeah. 8:15, yeah. Eastern time, giving everybody they shine. Don't pay no mind to sucker shit. Raw Dawggin, baby, yeah. Who else you wanna be fucking with? Strongest in the game, about to take off by doing good business and showing great dogs. Ain't no other part that's gon' mob how we mob. So like, share, subscribe, yeah. Get up on your job, cause we about to get it on. Man, I told you that it's raw, yeah. I put that on my mom. Good Lord, we have a ball, cause it's raw dog. It's raw dog, yeah. It's raw dog, yeah. It's raw doggin', y'all, yeah. It's raw doggin', yeah. It's raw doggin', y'all, yeah. It's raw doggin'. Let's go. You are now tuned in to the Raw Dawggin podcast.
All right, tonight on Raw Dawggin, we got nobody other than Mr. James Cosby, Wow Factor himself, aka that man that's always putting in work. Come out, you better bring your A game to the Wow Factors. None other, man. Hey, Raw Dawggin, we cannot thank you enough for coming on the show, sitting down, letting us learn about James Cosby and the Wow Factor. While this is one of, I would say, probably the most talked about shows every year, the Wow Factors is one of a long time. Yeah, like, so again, thank you, man. We appreciate it.
So James, go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody. So we got some new people that may have never heard of you.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely, Brian. Hey, first and foremost, thank you, Raw Dawggin, Raw and Uncut, for reaching out to me and allowing me the opportunity to grace your show. It sounds like it's been some real heavy hitters in the bully game who's already been on the show. So I am grateful and proud to be in that number and be included and have the opportunity to be on this platform. So guys, thank you for allowing me to be on the show, and also salute to you and congratulations on what you're doing and providing a platform for us show hosts and bully breeders and OGs in the community. So what you're doing is really good, and I admire that, and I look forward to hopefully working with you guys in the future at a Wow Factor show. But for those of you who don't know me, I'm James Cosby, and I'm the host of the Wow Factor.
Yes, sir.
It's more than a dog show; it's a family reunion. That's what I say. So the Wow Factor is an ABR sanctioned show that I host primarily in Dayton, Ohio. But here recently, we have grown quite a bit, and we have branched out into other cities and other states. Some people may not remember, but when I started the Wow Factor in 2015, I did 2 shows that year, one in Dayton, Ohio, and then one in Buffalo, New York, Niagara Falls. In Niagara Falls. So that was a good show. Then last December, I said, hey, let's start branching out again. And we went to outskirts of Chicago, in that Chicagoland area in December. And it was a great turnout, great show. But every year, typically, the Wow Factor's in Dayton, Ohio, usually the second weekend of March every year. So in 2023, it'll be March 18th in Dayton, Ohio. But before we get there, we're actually going to Philadelphia. So we're going to be in Philadelphia August 6th coming up. So we'll be in Philly, the Wow Factor Philly edition.
Man, that's what's up. What made you start, what started the Wow Factor? What made James Cosby say, hey, I'm getting ready to host a show and this is rocking with ABR. We're getting ready to make one of the livest. I mean, it probably is the livest show I think I've been to. I mean, you got the bar. I mean, you got the dogs. You got everybody. You got the MCs going. The music's going. I mean, after the show, everybody goes to the hotels and they're kicking it afterwards. I mean, it's always a great turnout. And then your dogs better be cleaning up their shit, or you getting kicked out the show, no questions asked, no refunds. See you later. Like, it's always good shows.
Right.
To me, it's really one of the last shows that was like it was back in the day. Remember back in the day when it was fun and all that shit? Like, it's one of the last ones that still resemble the beginning of these dog shows.
Yeah, and I try to keep it that way. Just a quick segue. I started, breeding American bullies. I am a breeder too, but I'm probably more recognized here lately as the show host with the Wow Factor. That's really got me a lot of notoriety as the Wow Factor show. But I started breeding American bullies in 2006. Actually, 386 Kennels got me hooked up. A guy by the name of Heath Lambert sold me my first American bully. And Heath Lambert actually introduced me to dog shows. So he was like, yeah, man, I go to these dog shows, these ABKC shows. I was like, what? Because prior to that, I had pit bulls, and I actually did weight pulling with my pit bulls.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how me and another guy who's a show host now, Andre Pogue, that's how we hooked up, because we had a weight pulling club together. He started the club and I was one of the members, and that's how we linked, and we've been cool ever since. So that was back in 2005. But so around 2006, I went to my first American Bully show, saw the American Bullies, purchased an American Bully from Heath Lambert, fell in love with it. It was no looking back. Once I saw just a stockier, thicker, bullier version of a pit bull with a much
bigger head,
better temperament, I didn't have to worry about my dogs fighting each other all the time. I was in there. I'm like, okay, this is where I want to be. And my wife, my wife had pit bulls. Little known fact, prior to meeting my wife, I was afraid of dogs. So, I didn't want anything to do with any dogs, puppies, nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I met her and I was like, man, this girl is fine. But she got 2 pit bulls at the house. So I had to man up and get some courage so I could date this girl. So, hey.
So she started it all, for real. Like, so she basically got James into where he's at, for real.
Yeah, my wife started it all, man. Well, she was my girlfriend at the time. But, absolutely, man. The things that we will do to get the girl. So that was one of the things I had to do, man, because she had the 2 pits, and she was into the dogs heavy, man. And she actually is the one who found Heath at 386 Kennels and was like, hey, there's these other dogs that are a little bit thicker than pits I think we need to look at. So it was all her. So she got me into the dogs, and it created a passion that I didn't even know that I had. And I fell in love with the breed. And some of my good friends that I grew up with from my childhood, they were like, dude, you went from being petrified of dogs to having the dogs with the worst stereotypes. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's crazy how that worked out. But way before the Wow Factor, I had a show called Bringing Out the Bullies, which was an ABKC show. And I first started Bringing Out the Bullies. I started working on it in 2011, and then our first show was in March. So I always kept that theme in the spring, March, tax season, bring everybody out. It's been a long winter, let's go, type of thing. So, March.
Yeah, you made sure everybody had a little money, didn't you? It was like tax time.
Yeah. I want to make sure it's tax season. Everybody got their money. They can come out and have a good time, They've been cooped up all winter, so hey, come out and have fun. And at that time, it was called Bringing Out the Bullies with ABKC. So our first show might have been like March 19th, 2012, I believe was the date. March 19th, 2012 was my first sanctioned show. But prior to that, I was co-hosting shows with my good friend Machiavelli Pitts, Jesse Splunge now on Facebook. But he's the one who taught me so much. He showed me the ropes because he was throwing a bully barbecue in Columbus, Ohio. And that was the only show in Ohio. And I was going there and I was helping him with his show, and I was learning about the dogs, about the breed, and how to be a show host. And then
he judged a lot of our shows, me and Ricky's shows that we threw. We always had Jay.
What you say, Brian?
We always had Jay Machiavelli down here.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Machiavelli would judge a lot of shows down there in Kentucky. Yeah, he's an ABKC judge, and so like I said, I had a lot of people, but the primary people who really showed me the game was Machiavelli Pitts, Jay Machiavelli, Ife, Okie Doke Kennels. He was one of the guys that I would rely on a lot and ask a lot of questions. And then Heath Lambert, 386 Kennels. Were guys that were really instrumental in my development and this dog game, and in becoming, I actually MC too. Becoming my first MC was at Jay's show, and then I just knew like it was something I was really passionate about. It was something I really enjoyed, and I knew that I could do well at it. And I asked Jay. I said, Jay, I want to throw a show in Dayton, and I got his blessing. He was like, cool. He never held me back. He never stopped my shine. He was always like, man, become the best that you can become. Do what you do. And that's all I need to hear. And I started my own show in Dayton, Ohio, and been going ever since 2012. We never skipped a beat, never skipped a year. What, 10 years now? Yeah.
It's some of my favorite shows. Like I said, every year, everyone always talks about, it's always like, for us, we always got like the big three. We like the Wow Factor. We like the Ohio Bully Showcase. Andre's show is always epic, and you're usually there. I'm making an appearance, supporting up, and then we do the Rumble in the Jungle, or Bully TEDx's BullyCon. So for us, that's the reason why we reached out to you, because we're like, man, we got who else can we throw? And I was like, James Cosby, bro. Like, if we could get the Wow Factor on, man, he always is, I ain't never seen anybody like. After the shows, you know how shows go, and you always got people gonna be on Facebook bitching and shit. I've never really seen that about the Wow Factor. You know what I mean? You might see somebody's little scuffles, but it's never about you. Actually the Wow Factor crew. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and a large part of that, I'm very customer service centric. I'm customer service focused. Like my background is providing great customer service. I want to provide excellent customer service. I want people to come out and just have a really good time and be treated the right way. That's always my goal. Is just to treat people like family,
Yes, sir.
You're transparent about your show. Like, I mean, it's this how it is every time. And I mean, that's the best way to be.
Yeah. And that's something I do. I get on the microphone, I set the stage, before I start the show, I always say, hey, I'm James Cosby. This is the Wow Factor, but we do have some housekeeping. Let's be kind and courteous to one another. If you accidentally bump into somebody, it's going to be crowded in here. Don't have an attitude today. Say, I apologize. I'm sorry. Keep it moving. Buy them a drink or whatever, So I say, treat them like they're your family. So I set the stage and I set the standard of conduct, when you're at my show. If your dog uses the bathroom and has an accident, either clean it up yourself or grab somebody from my staff. And I have said, if we see you walk away from a pile of poop or a pile of piss, I will kick your ass out with no refund, So yeah, I just set that code of conduct, man, and we've never had any issues.
Let's stay on that topic there alone. Like, how, in your opinion, how much has the shows changed from like back in the day until they are now? Like, like back then it was fun. And now all you hear about is every other show. There's a shooting, a fight, something like that. Like, I mean, it's crazy that it's changed that much. That lag.
Yeah, there was a little bit of delay there, but I think I caught most of what you said. What I'm seeing now is just a lack of professionalism because, also I have a corporate background. I've worked in corporate America for over 22 years. So I bring that level of professionalism in everything that I do, especially my show. I mean, that's my baby. So, the thing about the Wow Factor, I don't cut corners. I'm amazed at so many shows, they don't even have security. So when you come to a Wow Factor show, you're going to get patted down, you're going to get wanded down. So there's already a deterrent there. Like, oh, he's got security. These guys got wands. My security guards are armed. So they know, like, hey, this is not the place for any foolishness. You know what I mean? And then plus, I'm not the smallest guy walking around either. So that probably helps as well.
Yeah. Hey, you ain't lying. Hey, I saw the last Ohio Showcase, it had you, Andre, and Chad Higgins. Like, if you three motherfuckers walk up on somebody, the odds are, unless they got a semi truck behind them, makes them be bigger in the building. You know what I mean? Like, so hey, right, man. Hey, I definitely can understand. What, like, I know y'all growing, everything's growing. The dogs are changing. You know, like you said, you first started with the ABKC. Now, is there anything in the bully community like that you want to like shine some light on? Tell people, hey man, we need to tighten up. Like me personally, I think we need to tighten the shot group up on standards of like people who are breeding. Like stop promoting, you know, dogs that aren't really truly functional. Yeah, they might look functional on pictures or even on that little stat table, but you know, is there any kind of like light? You've been breeding a long time, man. I like to pick your guys' brains when I know somebody's been breeding 15 plus years, man. I like to always like think what you got. I'm all about evolution of the breed and changing and creating. But I also want to get to, because a lot of OGs that I'm starting to talk to are saying it's gone a little too far. So I kind of like to take Mr. Wow Factor's opinion on that.
Yeah. Yeah. To follow up on that, you know, that's a really tough one because there really needs to be a hard conversation. There really needs to be some hard truths told. And people have to understand that not every dog is show quality. Not every dog is breeding quality. Not every dog is even table quality. But the hard part is, you know, and their comeback to that will be like, well, it's my vision. How can you tell me my vision isn't show quality? It's really like calling a person's kid ugly. So I don't know if it's going to take time for that to change and for it to get better. You know, you can't call a person's kid ugly because that's their kid. They love them. But, you know, he might have one ear that sits up a little higher and he's cockeyed. But they'd be like, but my little dude, Jesse, he's gorgeous. You know what I mean? And that's what we run into with the dog game. Because you could be like, man, that dog's tongue is super long. He's easty, west. He's really bad. He's roached back. And they'd be like, it's my vision. It's my, you know. But I think we just have to present it in a way where it doesn't come off abrasive, where it doesn't come off as negative, or it doesn't come off as being a hater, and present it in a way where we're being constructive. So we can give tough love and hard critiques and say, hey, this is the direction we need to go. This direction might be a little healthier for the breed. You know, maybe consider this. You know what I mean? Like, you know, would you agree maybe that dog's tongue hanging down to his feet might not be the most ideal thing? Or would you agree that that dog's back that looks like a roller coaster may not be the most ideal for that dog? You know, and have a conversation like that. Right. But the other part of that situation too is people, not only is it their baby that we're calling ugly, but it's their baby that they paid $7,000 for that we're calling ugly. And people have a hard time not being able to recoup that investment. And some people just throw their hands up like, well, I got to get something back. And then we have to, you know, in this dog game, a lot of what we do in the bully community is hype and glorifying the lifestyle. And I think we need to do more conversations around there's going to be a lot of losses. Probably more losses than wins for the vast majority of us. You might have 5% of the breeders in the bully community who seem to be always winning, but let's believe they have losses too. They have dogs.
Yeah, you just don't hear about them.
Dogs they had to call. They had litters that died. They have dogs that we've never even seen that don't see the light of day, that they pet home before anybody could see them. But they don't talk about the losses because when we look at social media, Facebook, Instagram, we're only getting a snapshot. We're only seeing what people want you to see. So, you know, as a new breeder or someone new to the bully game, you think it's all sunshine and rainbows and it's all this money and everybody's getting to the bag. And that's not the case. And
it's a lot of hard work, lots of hard work.
And money, period.
It really is.
Yeah, lots of hard work. Yeah, lots of hard work and lots of losses. I mean, you might go through, you know, everybody wants that premier stud. I had a guy hit me up today like, man, if I could just get a stud that's, you know, that I'm sending out that I'm sending out semen, once a week or twice a week. I'm like, man, that's everybody's dream. But that's hard to come by for the most part. I mean, it's to the point, like Daquan Jackson said one time, if you got a dog that you stud out once a month, you're winning.
I really feel like
that's good. If as competitive as the stud game is, if you can stud out a dog, if you got a dog that you can stud out for $3,000 once a month, that's winning. Because think about it, you could supplement your income by $3,000 monthly. Man, who wouldn't want that? I mean, that's a win.
I tell you,
that's paying your dog.
Yeah, exactly. Like literally, we got 5 studs, man. In 1 month, we bred 4 of them. Like in 1 month, we bred out of 5 we got, we bred 4. It was like a good month. Like for us, for me, that's a great. A breeder that's only been breeding like for real 5 years. Actually, to breed 4 dogs, different dogs in the same month, man. I'm like, hell yeah. So I know exactly what you're talking about. When that happens as a breeder, you gotta feel it. People loving what I created. Especially it's the shit that you create. You know what I mean? Not something you bought a stud, but when they use your production.
Absolutely.
Once production gets them first couple of studs, I feel like as a breeder, like you're like, so people are taking appreciation to what I've like molded. You know what I mean? Built with your own hands.
Yeah. Like you said, you created something, and that's a great feeling. And it correlates with the dog show too. Like I'm amazed. I put out a product, being the show, to get the support and the backing of the community. That is a wonderful feeling. That people believe in my idea as much as I do. They believe in my dream as much as I do. But a lot of what I do is really for the people. I want people to be able to come to the Wow Factor. I want them to get lock-ins. I love when people say, they'll go and post like, man, I got 15 lock-ins at the Wow Factor. Brad, who owns Cosby in California, he flew in from California with Cosby, and he got 34 lock-ins his first time at the Wow Factor. For me, that's insane. I mean, that's awesome, and I love seeing stuff like that. People like Scooter Bowler, who comes and he sells leashes and collars and cages. And he says, James, I come to your show and I sell out. That's why I do the Wow Factor. That's what the Wow Factor is all about. It's to give people an opportunity to shine, to give people an opportunity to make money, to give people an opportunity to really feel proud about what they're doing in this bully game. Whether they're selling dog toys, treats, shirts, or they're selling, stud fees or puppies. This past March, we sold something like 35 to 40 puppies that day. That's a lot, man. I mean, we were selling puppies like we were freaking Petland. You know what I mean? It was crazy. I had a guy literally come and said, James, he's like, I sold my entire litter here at the show.
That's crazy.
For his asking price.
So I got a 2-part question for you. It kind of goes with what we're talking about here. All right, so what dog that has been to a show that you would want to breed to, that you've seen, and what dog that's not a show dog, if there is a dog that you would want to breed to?
Well, I do like Kobe a lot. I would breed to Kobe. Daquan Jackson brought him.
One dog of all time.
If you had to pick one dog of all time that you've seen at a show, and one dog of all time that wasn't a show dog, like whether the owner just didn't take the dog out.
One dog of all time.
Yeah, all time. We always ask it. We always put everybody.
Yeah. Well, the dog that got me into the bullies, that really made me fall in love with the breed, I saw this dog probably back in 2007 or 2008. It's probably like 2008, 2009. And it was a dog named the Bullmaster.
I knew.
I got one of his.
You had a dog like back. Did you have something off of him?
And the Bullmaster was just like, I call. Yeah, my dog Oleg. Yeah, and Oleg got me a lot of shine. Oleg got like 5 majors in ABKC.
Yeah,
the Bullmaster, I call it, getting bit by that bully bug, where you first come in as a newbie and your eyes are just wide open and you see the dog and then you exaggerate all the numbers like, man, I saw this dog and it had a 35-inch head and it was 14 inches tall, where you're just like,
It's facts though. I still
like you just saw Superman fly across the sky.
Yeah.
For me, that's how it was when I saw the Bullmaster. I saw the Bullmaster at the Bully Palooza in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was never the same afterwards. Never the same.
He was a badass dog then. I mean, he was amazing then.
He was way before his time.
Yeah. He was.
And he produced champions after champions after champions. I go on a limb to say he's got to be in the top 3 studs that produced some of the most ABKC champions. Had to be. Between him and King Kamali. I mean, it was crazy.
King Kamali.
So a stud, another stud that I liked, I saw at Machiavelli show, Garden State Bullies owned him, Freak Show. And then I think he was one of the first dogs to get shipped out of country back in the day. Freak Show was really nice. At that time, I think he was a pocket. He's probably closer to what exotic should be, Freak Show was nice. I can remember looking at him and I was like, he had the thickest tail I ever seen on a dog. He was crazy. There was a dog down in Kentucky too. I don't know if the guy's still breeding. I think his name was like Night Train or something like that. He was an all black dog.
Kenny Decker, yeah.
Kenny Decker, yeah, he's still, I don't know how he's not.
What was the guy's name?
Kenny Decker with Bluegrass Bullies or Bluegrass Pits or something like that.
That's exactly who it. Yep, that's him. Now that dog Night Train was the truth, and a lot of people didn't know about him. So
he was
for
a fat Billy back then. He was a fat Billy. He was a
second part of your question. For that second part, a dog that's not well known. For your second part of your question, for dogs not well known, I would breed the Night Train because he was dope. Right down there in Kentucky, yeah, he was dope. He was one of my favorites.
He would win shows. Kenny just didn't take him out. But he was hot. He was bad. He was a complete dog back then. Yeah, he was a complete dog. Solid black.
He was all black. He was a lot of dog. But like you said, he would hit up Ricky shows in Kentucky. He would come to Machiavelli shows every now and again. But his dog was Night Train was amazing.
Yeah, he won.
And that day, I thought he was probably one of the best studs I had ever seen.
That's what's up. So we pretty much done covered almost everything for Mr. James Cosby Wow Factor. Telling him, we're gonna get some final words for him. We have a lot of new. When I say we have a lot of new followers, we have probably more new followers than I say we have. We always do like with Kev, we did it with Ricky. We always do like some old school wisdom. Just give somebody your final thoughts for us. And we do again. We thank you for your time. And we always tell everybody that the Wow Factors are one of the best shows.
We promote the hell out of it.
Definitely. We always do. Yeah, it's just now we was able to get you on the show and give you your roses. You know what I mean?
Thank you, and I appreciate you guys doing that and supporting the Wow Factor and helping me also to promote the Wow Factor. And again, allow me on this platform. I wish to both of you continued success. And for the newbies that are coming in, best thing I can tell you, it's not a get rich quick, but if you stay consistent and you do good business and you treat people right, the money will come. If you have a vision, I put a post on Facebook the other day. Don't chase the bread, chase the dream.
Yes.
You chase the dream, the money will come. Just chase your dream. Don't worry about the money. Don't chase the dollars.
Hey, we're gonna hashtag that. I'm gonna let you know.
Because if you do that, you'll be switching up every other day, trying to make $2,000 here, $2,000 there. Yeah. So don't chase the dollars because the dollars will have you changing up all the time. So stick to your dream and chase the dream. And don't be afraid to help people. Don't be afraid to help promote other people. By helping other people will not hurt you. It's the law of reciprocity. Zig Ziglar says he's a motivational speaker, and this is what I live by for the wow factor. If you help enough people get what they want, then you'll get what you want. So just like this, you know, Raw Dawggin supporting me, I'm supporting them. It's the law of reciprocity. Basically, you be kind to others, then others will be kind to you. And that's what networking is all about. And that's the importance of going to dog shows. You network, you meet people, you shake hands, because a lot of times, you know, we sit behind these cameras and these keyboards on our phones and you know, these Facebook profile pictures. But what really makes a difference is you get out there and you meet people, because I'll tell you what, people are more inclined to do business with somebody that they've met, somebody that they've actually looked in their eyes, somebody that they've shaken their hands, somebody they had a beer with or they had a drink with. You know, people want to do business with people that they like and people that they've met, because what it does is it breeds credibility. So that's why you still see me. I still campaign and promote my show as if it's my first show, as if no one ever knows about the wow factor. I don't go in cocky, and when they're saying, oh, it's James Cosby, Mr. Wow Factor, I still go in like no one's ever heard of me. And I still take the time, I introduce myself, and I pass out my flyer. And because that goes a long way. Because like I said, people will do business where business is invited. So think about that. Business goes where business is invited.
Yes, sir.
There you go. It's the wow factor, baby.
Hey,
I've always
we
said you're one of my
appreciate that.
favorite. You're right there with Ron and Kev Green and James Stout. You know, I very seldom have ever heard anybody say anything bad about you or what you bring to the table. And it's always been because you've been professional and you brought it straight. Like you keep it real with everybody. That's why you've been successful this long.
And we appreciate you for coming on Raw Dawggin. Again, Mr. Wow Factor, the Wow Factor, August 6th in Philly. It's the Philly edition. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. If I pull up, I'm pulling up and bumping some Boys to Men. I ain't even gonna lie. Motown, no. But again,
Heck yeah.
And again, man, this is Raw Dawggin, Mr. James Cosby. Again, Wow Factor, August 6th. You guys go support. Hey, we will probably definitely be there. Again, thank you, Mr. Cosby.
Appreciate you. Let's go hit stuff. He's at his stuff.
It's raw, it's live, and uncut, yeah. This is Raw Dawggin with your host DJ Cornett and Tim Turner. Let's go. It's raw, it's live, and yeah, it's uncut. Yeah. From XL to teacups, studs, bitches, pups, healthcare tips to help the breed grow. Yeah. Stack all belts to help your team grow. Let's get it. Promo available, we got it for the cheap. Tap in. And every Thursday night, yeah, we on your TV. With your host DJ, you're gonna get the facts. Tim Turner like Ric Flair, about to snap, yeah. Built up designs, nobody do it better. Go Ralph on the corner, getting at him on our channel. Yeah, you don't wanna miss it. We Thursday night live, 8:15, Eastern time. Giving everybody they shine, don't pay no mind to sucker shit. Raw Dawggin, baby, yeah, who else you wanna be fucking with? Strongest in the game, about to take off by doing